Hello, Facebook. We are officially in the Christmas cheer here at the Misfit Business Lounge. Literally, if you think this is a lot, wait till you see what Sammy has got planned for Friday. Honestly, you guys, you are going to howl, but I'm here for it. I am here for the Christmas cheer, spreading loud for all to hear. Okay, so let me just double check that we are live and at everybody so that you can come and join the Christmas magic in my live. Okay, nobody needs my singing right now. However, I'm excited. I am excited. If you haven't realized by my energy, I have gone through a huge portal this weekend. Like I can literally feel in my energy that if you thought I was extra before, you have seen nothing yet. My relationship with money, my relationship with my business, my energy, my expression, all of these things have just been tenfolded over the last week, purely because, and I was sharing this with my mastermind ladies, I think when you get to a certain level of wealth, and obviously I am very, very blessed that my business has scaled, such a powerful 7-figure position. But I think when you get to a certain level of wealth, you realize, okay, this is a lot. Like, is it greedy to desire more? Is it possible to receive more? And I realized that I'd stopped challenging myself on what got to be available. So despite having $1 million business, despite being a badass businesswoman, I am going to take up the notch of challenge and be challenging myself even more to receive an even bigger business. Not from a, ooh, look at me and what I've achieved, but from a position of, well, a little bit like that, actually, because we should be celebrating our money relationship. We should be celebrating our energy. We are beautiful beings that are challenging our energetic minimum. We absolutely should be, radiating ourselves and bragging about ourselves and lapping it up. However, from the other position of like challenging what gets to be available, and yes, we've received these incredible amounts of money, but what if there's more than that? And where does that take us in the energy and in the magic and how we get to play and in the power? So everything in me this weekend was like, tweak, tweak, tweak. Let's take it up a notch with the momentum, the capacity, the expression. I'm about to get louder. And you guys, if you're not here for it, exit the group right now, because I'm sorry, when Rosie Victoria gets loud, everybody is going to know the heat that is channeling through my vessel. However, let's talk 50K before Christmas. Who wants on board the challenge? Let me know in the comments who is ready to step into the energy, the frequency, the magic of 50K in sales before Christmas inside of their business. Let me know inside of the comments. Now, my Black Friday offers have flown out the window. Like, who says you cannot make amazing money from low-end juicy offers? Like, I know that the $7 Desire for Wealth digital offer that we have put out there is going to end on a really powerful sum of really, really hot money, because the momentum around that, like literally last night, every 2 minutes I put my phone down and I'd get a ping, and there was another one and another one and another one. And that's just going to continue. And I would not be surprised if this in itself ends up being a 50K offer. However, there is an intention behind why my Black Friday offers have sold out so fast. And this is the intention that I believe everybody in this community, if you put it inside of your work, you are going to have magic show up in your surrounding. So the intention around this was always how I lead. For me, I am never a wing it woman. I don't believe in winging it, even if you are an energetic vessel who connects with spirit and source and your heart-centered position. And the reason why I do not believe in winging it is it's very quick, right? The energy from the internal to the external is really quick. And what you do is you throw it out so fast that it struggles to build this amplified state of energy. And what I know to be true is the amplified state of energy is what allows our offers to sell. When we're able to grow an energy from a really, really small position into a really big volume, that is when magic happens. So when you're winging something, you bring through the download in this small capacity and you get it through you, but the energy hasn't had a chance to grow in its volume. So for me, when I look at my energy and I look at my offers, I'm always planning my offers months and months and months in advance so that I could really build the energy behind it. And the offer for Black Friday was no different. Despite feeling so excited, about what it is that I was bringing to the surface, I knew that I needed to spend 4 months, 4 weeks, however many time really fertilizing the energy. And the first desire for this offer came to the surface for me in July time. But I spent my time really understanding, okay, why is this important? Why is it needed? How are we going to birth it? How are we going to bring it to the surface? And what I want to do is take you through the process of why intention is so important. So for me, we have to cut through the noise. As entrepreneurs, as business owners, we have to cut through the noise. There is so much out there, right? Whether it be a course, a program, this offer, that offer, there is so much out there in the grand scheme of things. And if we're not cutting through the noise, we're just becoming one of the collective, right? And if you want to make really big things happen in your business and you want to step into this unrealistic realm of money and everything that you get to taste and experience, you have to cut through the noise. Now, I always know, and I've done this every year on Black Friday, that social media is going to be consumed with Black Friday offers, right? People love to get on board the Black Friday hype. Whether you're a product business, a service business, social media is going to be consumed by offers. And therefore, if you really want to make sure that your offer stands out, you have to cut through the noise. Now, what we did as a team is we sat there and we understood, how are we going to cut through the noise? Now, I knew that the majority of my audience are service providers, and what they're going to do is they're going to discount the services that they already have. Now, that is something that I did not want to do, because I know from previous rounds of Black Friday, from understanding the power of intention, that just discounting an offer is not necessarily going to create the frequency and the momentum that's going to sell out the offer. So what I said is, I don't just want to discount my one-to-one space, because I love the energy of my one-to-one space. I love the way that I work there. I love the price point. I'm not willing to discount that. I'm not willing to discount my mastermind. I'm not willing to discount my group programs. Like, I love the way that they are positioned, and I don't want to take away from my magic and my expertise and devalue myself. But what I do want to do is that I want to bring something that is so relevant, and the one thing that I'm witnessing in the collective space that people are not getting right now. So instantly, I knew that my peers, the people around me, were going to be discounting what they already had going on. But if what you already had going on isn't selling, why is it going to sell any differently on Black Friday? Unless you really turn up the noise for Black Friday, it's not going to sell any differently. So I really took this on board. My team really took this on board, and we decided to create an offer which actually cut through the noise of our community and also the bigger scheme of communities. Because we understood that, yes, there's going to be so many services out there, but what are people actually lacking right now? And I have seen through my own observation of energy, this is not strategy, this is energy, that in business right now, the courses, the programs, like, people want them, but they want them slightly differently. And therefore, people aren't just signing up for a masterclass the way that they previously would. Like, they want a different thing. They want to make sure that they're getting the integration, that it's making sense. I think in 2020, that was the period where people just opted into anything, right? Whereas now people are becoming more conscious with, how is this going to add value to my business? How is it going to add value to, the bigger aspect of my business or what it is that I'm trying to create? And they're asking these questions. And because they're asking these questions, we have to make sure we're answering those questions. And for a long time, for me as a service provider, I was like, target markets, not for me. Absolutely not. Too strategy focused, and still target markets are a bit like, I hate that word, like literally despise that word, because I'm not here to pinpoint myself into this box of, this is my target market and everything's going to sit here and everything outside of it is a no from me. But what I am here to do is understand my audience. And I think in the online space, people have got so greedy and unintentional that they're focused on, what do I want to say, and stopped focused on, what do my clients need right now. Through my observation, I understood that there was women in my surrounding that were activated by my energy. They could jump on my masterclass, they could be in my group program, they could be a part of my world and get activated and get excited and get great results. However, the results were being capped. And the reason why they were being capped is because, yes, they were activated by my energy, but they were struggling to digest it and integrate it at the rate needed to see this rapid transformation in their surrounding. Because when we're a service provider, there is always integration. And even when I was in the massage world, there was integration between our live sessions, between our sports therapy. Like there had to be integration of stretches and different exercises at home to stay on board with the journey. The same way that you can get activated by my energy. This live, you might be like, yeah, come on, let's do the thing. But also there needs to be an integration. There needs to be something in the middle that allows you to really get what it is that I'm saying and make sure that it's adding value to your business. So what I witnessed is, how am I going to help people with the integration so that they're not just getting excited by my work, but actually they're experiencing these rapid shifts? And this is when I realized that content was such a big issue for a lot of people inside of my space. Now, you might have acknowledged that content's an issue. You might not have acknowledged that content's an issue. However, I want you to let me know in the comments how you feel about your content right now. Now, I have grown my business to multiple millions by allowing my content to sell itself. My organic content is what continuously brings in the money into my surrounding. However, content is such a fine art because it's not just about showcasing our geniusness, it's about also showcasing our leadership, our businesswoman, how we show up as a businesswoman, how we commit to the process as a businesswoman. And when we're showing our geniusness that we're not asserting our leadership, it affects the way people can say, fuck yes, I want to work with you. But when we're too in our business and not enough in our geniusness, that feels really suffocating and tight and like we're just on board with the money. So we have to get this balance right. And I was recognizing that when people were integrating my work, the one thing that was devaluing the experience was the content. And the reason being is they were still creating their content from this position of, what is possible for me right now? Where is my current energy at? So even if they was bringing through these really powerful downloads with really juicy messaging and narrative, they came to communicate it, but they were communicating it through their old body. And because they were communicating it through their old body, they were communicating it through what they saw possible, their old expression, their old visibility, how much room they were able to take up. That's how they were communicating it. Rather than communicating it through the new energy of, this is my power. This is how I'm going to channel. I'm going to communicate this like I'm the hottest thing on the internet, whilst also showcasing my geniusness, whilst also, being visible and extending the communication. When I speak about content, there's a maximization that needs to happen. We need to take what's working and we need to maximize it. If nothing's working, we need to get deeper energy in your voice, deeper energy in your expression. We need to really communicate that leadership and that authority figure, even if you feel like you're not in a financial position to have that leadership and that authority figure. And therefore, I was witnessing that content was such a hard thing for a lot of people. And again, let me know in the comments if you've had this experience, because they knew what they wanted to say and they knew how they desired for it to be perceived, but they felt a block between, where am I being miscommunicated? They knew what they wanted to say. They knew how they wanted it to be perceived, but there was a block in how it was being communicated. And it's because they couldn't stretch their perspective. They couldn't stretch their energy to make it feel different, to have a different experience with content. And this is why I created the 30-day content creation offer, so that I could be the one that actually got involved in your business. And rather than just activated you and stepped you into this like energy frequency of magic, allowed you to understand where you're downplaying your magic inside of your content. Because if your content is not selling at the rate in which you desire to sell, there is more that can be stretched inside of your content. And that's fact, right? That's 1,000% fact. So when I really stepped into this, I was like, okay, I'm going to cut through the noise and I'm going to create an offer that I know is exactly what my audience need. Now, some of you, you couldn't just go and launch this offer yourself because it might not be what your audience need. I was able to understand what my audience needed by energetically looking at the bigger aspect of my business. And right now, there are so many entrepreneurs in my field that are ready to start selling out their offers, are ready to create a lot of hype and magic and cash flow before the end of the year. And the number one thing that they need to do is understand, where are your audience currently at? Because it's not that you're not getting it, it's that they're not getting it. And you have to get into their energy of, why are they not getting it? Why are they not getting what it is that I'm saying? Is it that my businesswoman isn't exciting them, right? It's not feeling like the place that they want to go to and invest in because they're not feeling that energy coming through me. Is it that they're not understanding my content? Is it something else? Is it the finances? Is it this? Is it that? You have to understand your audience, because that allows you to also understand, where am I attracting the audience that I want? Or where am I attracting the right audience, but not communicating to them in the right way? Communication is such a power position in the energetic realm, because if we understand communication, it's the way that our internal body brings the energy outward and allows everybody else to connect with our vibration. So when you have something that you want to say, it moves through your energetic body, and physically you're communicating that with your audience, and physically what they feel is important for your business, because if they feel it, they invest, and if they don't, they don't, right? So the internal to the external is such an important process of energy. Now, internally, I meet a lot of powerhouse women who internally are holding such a strong vibrational state, but they're just not getting it into the communication phase. And we have to get it into the communication phase. It's absolutely mandatory and required if we want to create these big things, that the communication of our internal comes out in the external the way that's needed. So understand your communication right now, understand your business right now. Where is the communication lacking? What do your audience want? You need to ask these questions so that you can get inside of their head and you can create content that naturally communicates directly to them. Because if you're just creating content completely oblivious to what your audience are experiencing, you're going to keep asking yourself the question of, why are they not buying? Why are they not investing in me? Why are they not choosing to work with me? But the reason why they're not choosing to invest in you and to work with you is not because you're not powerful, is not because you don't have anything to offer them, is because they can't feel the communication coming through you in the way in which they need to experience it. And that requires observation, research, playing around with the energy so that you can get to know your audience. I and my team are continuously in this community, whether you're aware of it or not, understanding your needs, understanding where you're not getting it, understanding where you love what I'm saying, but you're struggling to integrate it inside of your life. And it's my job as a creator, as a businesswoman, to help you get it. It's not my job to just say the thing and be like, yeah, you're on your own, like go and do it, be expressive in your content. Because if you physically don't know how to get your former self to be expressive, to communicate herself in a better way, to share her genius, to share her expertise, then no matter how many times I tell you to be expressive, to be powerful, to, lead your magic, it's not going to make sense. And therefore I have to step in and I have to fill that gap. And right now, there will be gaps within your own industry, whether you're a service provider, a product provider, that you, on the lead up to Christmas, can fill. And in filling that gap, you are creating a new connection with your audience where their needs feel met. And also you're increasing your sales because you're speaking to a communication. And I'm not going to say a problem, because I don't think it's about speaking to a problem. That feels too target marketing for me. It's about speaking to a communication where your audience can digest it. Everybody digests in a different rate. And there will be people in my space that get activated by me, they integrate, they get it, and that's it, right? They're on their journey. But there are also people that need me to show them the way through their content, through their communication, through the way that they show up a little bit deeper so that everything starts to make more sense. And I have to be the one to do that. I can't just say, do you know what? That's not my problem. I'll just sit here and wait for the sales to come in. If you want to make money, if you want to make fast money, if you want to make 50K by Christmas, you have to speak to your audience. You have to give them exactly what it is that they need to feel a part of this journey and to feel activated in your presence. Now, my Black Friday offer has absolutely skyrocketed because, one, I have understood my audience. I have taken the time to understand my audience. What do they need? What are they going through? What is going to serve them right now? But also, I've given myself this build-up. Rather than just communicating it through me as fast as possible, I have spent time fertilizing, how am I going to do this to the highest degree? Like, how can we play with the idea of this offer so that when we bring it into the forefront, when we bring it into the light, actually, like, people are going to grab it straight away. And my fertilization of understanding that has allowed me to deliver it in a way where people absolutely want it. And we have officially sold out. However, my team have told me that I'm allowed to open 5 more spots because I've decided that I'm not going to host a live program in December. We've just done the Money Bootcamp. If you were on board with the Money Bootcamp, there was some really hot, delicious energy inside of that program that we've just finished. I've got my mastermind going on. Some of the mastermind leaders still catching the replays of Money Bootcamp. Like, there's a lot going on. So I decided that I'm going to focus on the 5 more spaces for the content creation and our 12 days of Christmas. You guys, you are going to freak. Let me know if you are excited. All I'm going to say is Sammy has planned this, and it may involve an inflatable costume. That's all I'm going to say. So by the time Friday comes, an inflatable costume may be here on the live with you guys. Stay tuned and find out the 12 days of Christmas. So if you want us on board in creating your content and helping you extend your magic, this is not about marketing content. This is not about, you know, hitting the nail on the head and saying all the right things. It's not about that. It's about extending your geniusness, your inner businesswoman, and making sure that it communicates with your audience the way that you truly desire. So if you want to jump on board that content creation offer, DM me for the link right now. Be quick, because the first 5 are going to get it. And what we'll do is we'll help you understand your audience. We'll help you understand where you're not communicating yourself. We'll go through all of this analysis of you, your brand, your social platforms, and then I will physically channel the content for you that you can either use as it is, or you can tweak it and play around with it and then post it. But my job here is to help you get it, to help you see the higher version of how you can look with your audience, of how you can connect with your audience. So the fertilization of that, the connection of that, the way that I've brewed that is what's made my offer sell out. And then when I look at bringing in the $7 offer, which was something that my team decided, you know what, let's put one of the digital programs on offer. Let's make it fun. Let's make it interactive. And absolutely, the $7 Desire for Wealth is one of my favorite programs that I've ever taught. At the time of teaching it, it was 222. It's a powerful 3-day series. Like it is magic. It is so good if you've been struggling to really get into the energy and the frequency of desire. But again, it was like, I know that, you know, yeah, the content thing is great, but also some people just want to play in the energy right now. So let's create something that they can play in the energy. And it is skyrocketing. And I know, and I can guarantee, and I will report back to you that this is going to be a 50K on its own. And this is just a reminder that you can create mass amounts of money from a low ticket offer. However, it's about the communication, the understanding, and the energy of the low ticket offer. I wasn't sat here and saying, hey, let's play with the $7 because I feel like my audience don't want to pay right now. Absolutely not. That is not the energy that I am intentionally willing to play with. I was sat with the energy of let's play, let's put it out there, but I'm going to really be building my energetic vessel for what I'm available to, and the magic and all of the offers that intentionally hold my focus. I wasn't changing my response mechanism because I felt like it was needed. I was still in my vibe. I was still in my element. I was still in my energy field. So what I have to say to you is low ticket can bring in magic. It can bring in gold. It can bring in stardust, but you have to, 1, be doing it for the right reasons. And 2, your momentum around low ticket has to be so much higher than your momentum around high ticket, because people really love that buzz and that acceleration. And I've even seen it on my profile this weekend where there's this big acceleration and like, yes, I'm in, I want to be a part of it. And then it's just rippling even bigger than that. Now, I actually want to speak on this. Let me just double check there's no questions because I can't actually see the live whilst I'm live. But I want to speak on, okay, perfect. I can see the questions. Do you also mean non-verbal communication? Absolutely, because it's not just about what it is that we say, right? It's about the energy of how we say it. It's about the communication of how that's physically, energetically being witnessed by our audience. And for a lot of people, they're saying all of the right things, but the energy of how they're saying it is wrong, which does change the language of the physical communication, but it also tweaks the energy of like how we hold it. For example, this is where the inner businesswoman comes through really deeply and radiates much more powerfully in her communication of content. However, before I get sidetracked, I felt like I had something really big that I was going to say there, but now I'm distracted and shiny object syndrome, and I can't remember what I was going to say. What was I going to say, you guys? Somebody prompt me. What was I going to say? I had something exciting to tell you as well. I was like, I need to tell you this. What was I going to tell you? What was I going to tell you? Oh, here's the thing. I feel like we have to be available to challenging ourselves in the capacity of momentum. And what I'm going to say right now is very controversial. However, You know me, when I say something controversial, it comes with love, it comes with good energy, and it comes for the right reasons. Now, the reason I'm going to say this is so that you can understand the power of momentum. Now, before I say what I'm going to say, because some of you might jump off the live and never speak to me again, what I'm really going to say is I want you to picture this when Netflix brings out a new series, right? And the Netflix series is like a controversial topic. Let's say the Twin Flames. Have we all seen the Twin Flames documentary circulating on our newsfeed? Put your hands up if you have. Like, it's all I've seen for the last week. So what we're hearing there is like natural conversation, natural marketing of a product, right? There's natural marketing happening of this Twin Flame product. The momentum behind it there. One person speaking about it, the next person speaking about it, the next person speaking about it. Now, there's a language in the entrepreneur space, and I think I've even been guilty of that. However, as I've gone through this portal this weekend and even challenged myself deeper into the initiation of more money, more wealth, more impact, more lives that I get to change, what I realized is that this is wrong. Like, this is a wrong communication. And the communication is, and you've probably all heard this, we don't need to focus on engagement. And this is true to a degree, and it's also not true at the same sense. And the reason I say it's true is because my least interactive posts are usually the posts that bring in more money, and my posts that are engaged are usually not my money-making posts. However, the reason why it's not true is because momentum always brings in more because it ripples, right? The same way one person watches the Twin Flame documentary, speaks about it, the energy ripples, and more people watch it, and more people watch it, and suddenly it becomes this like bigger energy. Now, it's the same with your offers. Like, the more people opting in, the more energy behind it, the more magic, the more conversation, the more power that's happening inside of these spaces, the more it's rippling to more people. And we as leaders need to get comfortable with how do we facilitate the conversation, the magic, the I'm in, let's do the thing, take my card, I'm having this breakthrough, this is happening inside of our space, rather than just keeping everything really silent and really like non-existent. How do we create that momentum? And I feel a lot of people can be intimidated by facilitating this level of conversation because they feel like it's too much, or it's too noisy, or they don't want to come across too salesy, rather than understanding that momentum is all about how you see yourself. So when you see yourself as the powerful vessel that you are not afraid of momentum. You are not intimidated by being momentum filled. And even now, like this week, I've been challenging myself of what does it look like to invite even more momentum in the essence of engagement and conversation and interaction, and like, holy shit, this is powerful. Because that felt like the next challenge for me. And in that feeling like the next challenge, I realized and I witnessed, well, I need to prompt that. How am I going to prompt more of that momentum in my outward space? So if you have a product or a service right now that is really powerful, and you know internally that it's really powerful, what would it look like for you to prompt the momentum externally and allow that conversation to continue brewing and allow the magic of that space to continue harnessing? Because how you prompt that is going to have a huge impact on how much you allow that to ripple. So yes, it's not about the engagement in the literal sense. It's not about the engagement in the physical sense, but it's about the momentum and the energy that conversation brings, that the power of communication brings. And the more we can be in that communication of momentum, the more it's going to be rippling into more people getting on board with what it is that we're creating. And this is, again, why like I am so open and transparent with, you know, how much an offer sells, or, you know, what it's bringing in. The Desire for Wealth absolutely is being probably the biggest Black Friday offer. Is it the most profitable? Probably not, because the content creation offer has created close to 10K. But when I look at the Desire for Wealth, that has been so easy and so accessible that that's already skyrocketed past that. So if we look at the energy of those two things, yes, it's not the most profitable, but it's naturally creating the momentum. And therefore I can play on that momentum to create even more momentum, to make the thing even bigger. But again, the content creation, how am I prompting the momentum around that to actually make that thing bigger? And sometimes it's a case of you needing to challenge yourself to actually facilitate the momentum a little bit more so that you can make the momentum a little bit bigger. Is this making sense? Drop me a 3 in the comments if it's making sense. So with that being said, the reason why I wanted to do this intentional live today is to actually prompt you into being more intentional with your work, being more intentional with why you're doing what it is that you're doing. Do you know why you're launching what it is that you're launching? Do you know why you're showing up in a certain way? Do you know why you're creating, a certain thing? Do you know why? And I think as entrepreneurs, business owners, service providers, product providers, people have just got lazy. And it's like, I know what to communicate, so I'll just share and I'll just share and I'll just hope for the best. But we have to be more intentional. We have to know why we're doing what it is that we're doing. We have to know why what we're doing is going to create impact in our audience. We have to hold the intention of the momentum a little bit further, because the intention is going to skyrocket everything that comes to the surface. The same way when we do our 12 days of Christmas at the end of the month, not the end of the month, the beginning of next month, this was something we did last year. And the reason we did it last year is because the intention was I was witnessing so many women inside of my space that were scared to sell. So they were selling on a Monday and then not selling until the following Monday because they were like, I don't want to be too much. And I was like, screw that. I'm going to sell every single day and I'm going to be loud about the sale and I'm going to really show up with the sale and I'm going to do the thing for the next 12 days to show you the intention that it's comfortable for you to break this. You're allowed to sell and you get to be intentional with your selling. And again, this year, we're doing the same thing. So it's like, yes, I'm going to show you the magic of what it means to sell. I'm not just like, oh, yes, let's do a 12-day offer because. I'm like, no, there's an intention here. There's an intention of what I want to give to you and how I'm leading you and how me leading you is actually having a long-term impact on the way that we communicate and invest together. And then also within that, we've kind of tweaked things up a little bit with this year's to be like, how can we be even more intentional with the momentum, with the visibility, with the magic so that we can birth this even bigger? And sometimes when we're feeling lost in our journey or we're feeling the pressure of just enoughness, we stop challenging ourselves of, but what does it mean to be more visible? What does it mean to be out there a little bit more? What does it mean to have myself seen on a deeper degree? But when we drop into that, we realize the reason we didn't allow ourselves to be more visible, the reason we didn't allow ourselves to be seen is because we didn't feel comfortable. We didn't feel like we were at a point in our business to actually be that, rather than knowing that we have the power to hold the intention at any given point. Intention doesn't require your bank account to look a certain way. Intention requires you to take leadership of understanding your audience and understanding why you're doing what it is that you're doing. And when you know why it is that you're doing what it is that you're doing, which is bigger than just, I want to impact lives, I want to make a difference, but you actually know the intention of every given thing, you make the money make sense. Money makes sense to me. It doesn't make sense for me to be broke. Like, money makes sense for me. More than enough money makes sense for me. And in more than enough money making sense for me, it's easy for me to get the yes. It's easy for me to be in the frequency of the yes because of the way that I'm really positioning and attuning myself. Now, I want you to ask yourself the question of, does money make sense to you? And if the answer is no, where is that showing up in your visibility, in your momentum, and in your intention of why you're doing what it is that you're doing? Because I guarantee that it will be. And in the conversation of money getting even bigger, just because we get to have the thing, just because we want it and we get to have it and it gets to be good and it gets to be magic and it gets to be everything that we want. In the essence of that, like, I have taken myself through an even deeper challenge in my own positioning. I am so proud of what it is that I've built. Like, we're ending this year very close to our biggest cash. Well, we are on our biggest cash year yet, but I haven't hit the goal that I had for myself yet, but we're very close to hitting the goal that I had for myself yet. And I cannot wait to hit the goal and actually fill you all in. And I'll be transparent about that. I'll show you all of the things. I'll show you what it looks like behind the scenes, where the money came from, the funnels, all the different things from an energetic position and a physical position. Again, that's the reason why I give you the screenshots and I show you how things are selling, because I want it to be a transparent journey. However, in the conversation of money getting bigger and money making more sense, I sat with myself this week and said, like, where do we get to catapult into what my goal is? A lot of you will know my goal. It's going to happen. Whether it happens today, tomorrow, next year, I don't know, but it's going to fucking happen. Now, when I sat with myself, what I realized is that the goal was scary. And it was scary because it was like challenging this already great level that I'd received. And I was like, can we have that? Like, is that allowed? Like, imagine being in that position. Imagine having that. Imagine that level of wealth. Is it allowed? Are we allowed that? And what I realized is that I've been downplaying or logically normalizing my relationship with money, which is not how I played. Like, I built this business by making the unrealistic realistic. I built this business by stepping into the, I get to have the thing and I'm going to make it happen. I've stepped into this business by creating an identity that has always been bigger than the physical reality. And therefore, I was like, okay, where do we need to challenge ourselves? And I realized that I'm not allowing myself to step into the even bigger identity because I felt like, ooh, this is a lot. Like, this is a really lot. However, I get to be a lot, right? I've earned my right to be a lot. I've made my seat at the table. I get to be a lot. So there's certain things that I've wanted and I've desired, from a new Louis Vuitton bag. You guys know I love Louis Vuitton. Like, that is no secret. A new Louis Vuitton bag, a Dior coat, these beautiful little Dior heels. Like, my daughter loves these clumpy heels, right? And for Christmas, I bought myself some Dior heels, and they do some little children's one with the tiny little heel. Like, don't worry, she's not going to be walking around in these platforms. They're these tiny little heel and clumpy, and they all like princessy, and I knew she would just love them. And there was a piece of me that was like, do you really need to buy your girl Dior heels? But that was the narrative growing up for me. Like, do you really need that? Is it essential? Is it this? Is it that? And I'm like, I'm going to buy them. Like, what the fuck? Like, I have the disposable money. I built my $1 million business. If I want to buy the Dior heels, I get to buy the Dior heels. I get to buy 3 of the Dior heels. Like, I get to have the thing. And it just started to make even more sense for more money to come into my reality. But I was allowing other people's perception of money and other people's perception of what got to be possible stop me from playing in the frequency of, we get to have the money, it gets to happen, and it gets to be magic. And when I actually talked myself through this weekend, of course, I have the biggest cash flow happening of like boom, 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 sale, because of the energy that I'm in and the magic that I'm witnessing and the way that that's flowing through me. So my message is, you have to make money make sense, because if money doesn't make sense, how are you going to make it? How are you going to get a yes to the client? How are the things going to flow to you? If you do not make money make sense, it is not going to happen. You have to make it make sense. And that requires you to get your ego in the process. Like, my ego is in the process. There is certain energetic minimums that I would never, ever settle for in my business on a monthly basis, because my ego is in the process, and my ego has this baseline of, I'm not going below that amount, absolutely not going below that amount. And what I see for people is that they think that their ego is the devil, and they're scared to become greedy, and they're scared to become too much. Your ego is your best friend. Like, if my ego wasn't my best friend, do you think we'd be driving a Range Rover? If my ego wasn't my best friend, do you think that Range Rover would have like limited edition red seats in it? If my ego wasn't my friend, do you think I would have created this business? Absolutely not. You have to have your ego on board the process, because without the ego, you're thinking very limited of yourself. People are afraid of the ego because we have been trained to believe that the ego is a bad thing. The ego is the most magical, potent experience of your whole entire life, because it gives you permission to see yourself through a lens that you've never seen yourself before, through an identity that you've never seen yourself before. And when you see yourself through that lens and through that identity, you raise your standards, you raise your energetic minimum, you raise the way in which you're able to play. And that is what I want to share with you today. So let me know in the comments which of the Black Friday offers you have jumped on board with. We have the 3-day $7 Desire Workshop, which is a really beautiful place about stepping into the frequency of desire, training our cellular body to get on board with the frequency of desire, moving and flirtatiously honoring what it is that we want inside of our business. If you're ready to step into like some shit hot money mindset, this is the thing for you. $7, really easy. The coupon code is Black Friday 7, and I'll get the team to drop the link below. The 30-day content creation, which has officially sold out, but I'm opening 5 spots for you, where I will literally create your content, be on board your business, stretch you, show you what's possible, and show you a different perspective. And then we have the offer, which is access to everything that I launch in 2024 for $9,999 USD. Okay, so my all-inclusive, if there's anyone on here that's in my all-inclusive, comment below the juiciness that you get in there. Like, share your feedback, share your energy. The all-inclusive space, I love it, right? It's just easy. You get to just access me as I'm continuously evolving into all of my magic. But with that being said, I will see you guys for our very exciting plan this week. And Yeah, I'm not going to give anything away. I cannot give anything away. I want to give it away, but I'm not going to give it away. So I will see you guys on Friday live to reveal all of the things. And in the meantime, go and snag the things. Be in this like shit hot let's go season because I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it from all of you.